Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whoever and wherever you are. This is Coach Lee, and we're working on speech anxiety in all its gross forms. And we are talking with my friend Sherry. Say hello, Sherry.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to my best hour of the day with fantastic host, Coach P.
Yay! We take all the applause we can get and we bow. Let's see. Sherry is a PhD in molecular and cell biology. Boy, that sounds hard to me. And she does research at a major university. And she has a son, 10. And basically, she's been stuttering since she was 4, up to as much as 80% in public speaking. But like so many people, she's very situational. So in some cases, she's not stuttering at all. I hear almost no evidence of stuttering when I talk to her. She sounds perfectly fluent to me. Didn't I ask you though last time we talked if you thought you stuttered with me, and didn't you tell me you thought you did? Isn't that what? Didn't we do that?
So it's easier talk to you than
Okay.
to any other people. I think because you are a very kind person and you are very supportive and loving. So
Well, how about if I sit here like this and be intimidating, and will you drop off if I get like this and say boo? Anyway, so you don't really doesn't she doesn't really stutter with me. So the problem with that is it's very difficult for me to see what might help when I don't have a chance to actually witness the problem. So, but this is true with a lot of people I coach. They find, oh, talking to me, it's like talking alone in the closet or something. So that's the way it is. There are a few people who stutter more with me than with anybody on the planet, but they're very rare. Any event, it is what it is. So let's get down to it and see that when we talked on January 25th, you said that you were still having a bad incident every day. And we worked on our emergency speech plan: less, link, and stop. And on February 1, you told me that stuttering was down about 30% at work, which was a great improvement to you.
yeah,
And you were not stuttering at all when being enthusiastic, which was making you very happy. And of
yeah,
course, there's nothing to prevent you from being enthusiastic all the time you're talking.
yeah. It's true. It's true. But in the days, if I feel more tired, it's harder to be
Well,
in.
I understood, dear, but there's a price for everything. And what the price you need to pay, whatever it is, if it's legal and moral, you need to pay that price until when? Until the stuttering habit is broken. It goes away from non use,
Mhm.
which it will if you don't feed it, if you
Mhm.
don't keep stuttering. You have to keep stuttering to keep it alive. And that's the I say you got to hear fluency from your lips, which you do a lot, but you
Mhm.
cannot hear disfluency defined as a bad incident,
Mhm.
defined meaning clearly appearing to be a stutterer, not making a few mistakes here and there, or forcing a word once in a while. That's not appearing to be a stutterer. I mean when you're having difficulty communicating, and the fluent person standing there says this person is having trouble communicating with me. All I did was ask her name, or ask her where she lived, and I can't get an answer, you know. So that is a bad incident. But anything shy of that, you got to give yourself a pass, a pass. You give yourself a passing grade. And if you don't give yourself a passing grade, it's almost as bad as really failing. It's very important that you not punish yourself for being a human being and for making mistakes, because you're going to make them. No matter how hard you try, you're still going to make some mistakes. Everybody does. The
Yeah,
greatest speakers in the world do.
I agree.
Winston Churchill, who was considered to be by many the greatest orator of the 20th century by many people, said, I'm going to try and paraphrase it. If I don't practice for a day speaking, I know it. If I don't practice for a week, my wife knows it. And if I don't practice for a month, the whole world knows it. Now that was from a great orator. In other words, he practiced public speaking. He practiced speaking all the time. And so it's no surprise he was a great speaker. He practiced all the time. So you and I, we need to keep the bad incidents out. And when we do, I mean, if being enthusiastic, look, my great dream, and I tell everybody this, people the first time I ever coach them, I say, if you can embrace the message and and be possessed of the message like a positive force inside you that's saying, how can I say this in the most enthusiastic way possible? If you can do that, you can throw my book away. You don't need to talk to me. You're finished. You're done. You'll be fluent as long as you live. And not only that, you'll be more interesting speaker than 9 out of 10 people around. Now, but it's very hard to do that, to just stop all the stuttering and stay with it all the time. You just told me, well, if you're too tired, maybe it's harder to be enthusiastic, but it's a price you pay, whether you're tired or not. You got to shut this demon down. You got to give him zero food and water. You just starve him out. He's going to die because you're not going to feed him. So if you can do that by being enthusiastic, that is the best and the easiest solution that I can think of. You can say, well, it's not always easy because sometimes I'm tired. Okay, I didn't say it was easy. I said it's the easiest solution I know of. It's simple. And when you make that commitment, what happens? You're no longer Sherry, this person with a speech problem. You're Sherry, the enthusiastic speaker who can't wait to share the good news.
Yeah.
And that makes you a good speaker, and it gets rid of the stuttering and makes you a good speaker too. And then you combine that with working on crutch 11, which really doesn't necessarily have to do with stuttering. It helps with stuttering, but it's speaking like a queen or a king, slowly, extreme pronunciation, enthusiasm, smiling, and stops. Crutch 11, you combine that with enthusiasm, you got the world by the tail in the speaking area. Oh, yes, you do. So, looking at my notes on you further, so the last thing I said to you was on February 1st, your speech plan, slow pronunciation, stop, or short, link, stop, or simply enthusiasm. In other words, you had three options. So
Mm-hmm.
now the question is the first question of the day is, have you had any bad incidents since the last time we talked 2 weeks ago?
The answer is yes. So the long answer is I think my speech has improved a lot in all kind of situations, but in some more difficult situation, I still have bad incidents.
Well, we have to eliminate them. It's not an
Yeah.
option. It's not we're going to try.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
To win this game, we must do this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say, I'm going to write speech much better, but how many bad incidents have you had? Can you remember?
Uh, there are quite a few. So the small bad incidents, I try to forget, as Leah suggested in the
Sure.
same meeting.
Are they at
Leah
work?
said, no,
Where are these bad incidents? Where are they happening?
um, one of the huge bad incident is yesterday. I had to make an urgent call to an authority figure. Somehow, my vocal cord completely shut down, and I couldn't say a word. And initially, I was able to say a word, but she clearly noticed I was stuttering.
Yeah.
And then uh, she say, slow down. It's okay. That's usually the general suggestion from the fluent speaker. When
Well,
they saw you stutter, they say, it's okay, slow down. But
well, they
uh,
don't. They're just trying to help, and that comes to mind,
yeah,
and it makes sense. And they're right. That certainly does help. All right, let's. You had a huge bad incident yesterday. Let's.
yeah.
And so, what would I have heard if I had been on the call? What would I have heard, or if you recorded it? What would I have heard?
Oh, so you want me to show you how I
Or to tell
started?
me what happened? You did
Oh,
sort of, but I mean, was it long bouts of silence? Was it repeats? Was it forced words, or was it
so
just silence?
so for me, I had a certain period of silence, and I also have certain period of force the words out. So she noticed I was.
Okay, okay. Now, when these incidents occur, that one specifically, what triggers it? Is it one word?
Um, I think the main trigger is huge anxiety because I have faced
Understood,
before.
but I'm
Yeah.
trying to find out the manifest. I know it's anxiety. The question is, how does it manifest itself? Is it when you're about to talk? Is it you're focused on one word you can't say, or is it you've lost your breath, or what is the manifestation? I mean, you with most people, it's one word they can't say, and when they get tripped up over that word, whether it's their name or something standard that they have to say, it then snowballs into other words. That's the typical situation. It's not always the case. um, so I'm trying to identify if you can remember. I mean, you get on the phone and your tension is rising. So what? Your heart's pounding and you're perspiring. And you say a few words and then you get hung up, or you can't get the first word out of your mouth doesn't come of the whole
So
conversation. What is it that
uh,
starts it?
I was able to say a few sentences, and then
Okay,
I
okay,
feel my anxiety built up, up, and up.
okay, okay.
I yeah, my vocal cord kind of shut down, and I
Okay.
become more and more nervous.
Well, they don't have to shut down, and there are things that we can do to prevent them from shutting down. But what you just said helps. You said you got a few sentences out. Now, as you got those sentences out, you felt the pressure building, correct?
Yes, yes.
All right. As you feel the pressure building, I mean, did you know before this? Did this person call you or did you call this person?
Oh, I have to call that person.
Okay, so you called the person. So you're dialing away. Is the tension building as you're dialing?
Yes.
Okay. And what did you what did you do? What did you do to counteract the immediate signs of a problem, tension rising? What did you do to
Oh,
combat it?
at that time, my anxiety was too big to remember
Well,
any strategy.
listen, I'm not going to let you off the hook with that, Sherry, because you're an intelligent girl, and I can't buy that. That means you haven't practiced your panic speech plan, your emergency speech plan. You haven't practiced it. You don't use it. You can't use it under pressure. What good is it? It's something you talk about, but you can't use it under pressure. So it's not
Uh,
helping you. You
I
didn't use it. What is your panic plan? What is your panic plan?
it's less link and stop.
Okay. And when you so you're dialing away and you feel the pressure building. As the pressure is building, what are you thinking? As the pressure is building, what are you thinking?
Um,
Are you
I think
thinking anything? Or
at
are you
that
just
time
letting the
my,
pressure build?
my brain went blank.
Okay, well
It
look,
went
did you
blank.
have these words in front? Did you have these words in front of you? Were they posted right in front of you as you were dialing your phone call? Were you looking at these words?
Not,
You weren't. Shame on you. Shame. Shame. You've
yeah.
got to be looking at these words. Now, listen, your mind when you're into panic mode, your mind is full of fear. When you start thinking about a solution, you push the fear back
Mm-hmm,
and you put something else in front of it.
mm-hmm,
The human mind thinks sequentially, one thought at a time. Even when you're multitasking, it thinks one thought at a time.
mm-hmm,
So you may be doing two or three things, but it's only thinking one thing.
mm-hmm,
Your mind, and like my mind and everybody's mind, thinks one thing at a time. If you're thinking less, you're not thinking fear. If you're thinking link, you're not thinking fear. If
mm-hmm,
you're thinking stops, you're not thinking fear. Now, uh, we can change the plan and we can put more elements in it. This is a very simple plan, but if you don't use it, it's useless. So we either have to find a way to get you to use this plan,
mm-hmm,
or we need to change the plan to something that you'll use. So that's what we got to figure out.
mm-hmm.
So I can now each one of these elements you should practice your pressure plan when you don't need it. When you're telephoning a friend that you're not really that anxious about talking to, it's not a high pressure situation, but you still use the plan. Now, I'm going to ask you some questions, and I
Mm-hmm.
would like you to answer them, the
Mm-hmm.
questions, using the plan.
Okay.
First, let me ask you some questions. What does less mean to you? What does that mean?
Less means say the least words possible.
Okay. All right. Um, I should have I think also I should say something else here. There's another element I want to put in here. Hold on. I've told you about my little 9-year-old girl from Canada who
Mhm.
read my entire 700-page book.
Mhm.
And when I asked her questions about it, she could answer them like a grown up. She
Wow.
understood my book better than most people 3 times her age. And when I she beat it. She beat the stuttering. She's the oldest of 5 children, homeschooled children.
Mhm.
And some of her siblings stutter too, but when she stopped, they stopped.
Wow.
And she's a very smart girl. And I asked her name is Fiora, and I asked her when it was over and we had posted her success story. I said, "So Fiora, what in our program helped you the most stop stuttering?" And without hesitation, she said, "Increments, meaning short increments of words,
Mhm.
1 to 3 words, under very in a very mild conversation, it could be 1 to 7 words.
Mhm.
Under semi-tense, it's 1 to 5 words. Under maximum pressure, like you were under,
Mhm.
you're shooting for 1 to 3 words. Now, I will demonstrate to you
Mhm.
that I can talk to you indefinitely, speaking 1 to 3 words at a time. I can talk virtually all day long to you or anyone talking only increments of 1 to 3 words at a time. And you won't think that my speech is strange at all. The reason I'm using my fingers is to show you that I'm only talking 1 to 3 words or so at any time. Now, that's what I mean by short increments or the word short.
Mhm.
So I'm going to insert after less the word short. Link and stop.
Mhm.
You can say anything to anyone, anytime, anywhere if you put it in 1 to 3 words or so. I don't ask you to count your words. Don't count your words. Just stop
Mhm.
approximately every 1 to 3 words or so. And
Mhm.
when I say stop, I actually mean stop. 1001 is the minimum stop. Sometimes you want to do 1001, 1002. No one will care. And on occasion, on rare occasion, when you say something that you think is really important,
Mhm.
end it with a 3-second stop. It's fine. Your speech will be better,
Yeah.
better received, better remembered, more
Yeah.
impressive, appreciated more. All these young people, and you're one of them, talk too fast. The idea of communicating is to get your ideas across. It's not to finish quickly. And if people interrupt you and take the speech floor, you don't care. You'll get it back. And when you do, you'll make better use of the speech floor than anyone else present. Now, as you go into a pressure situation, you're looking at these words
Mhm.
and you're gonna do all four of them. Now, if you can't do it in a conversation with me, that means you don't know how to do it. So I'm asking you to answer my questions. Don't less means don't say anything you don't need to say.
Mhm.
If I say, "What's your birthday?" I don't want you to say my birthday is June 1. I want you to say June 1.
Mhm.
If I want you to say what's your favorite dessert? I don't want you to say my favorite dessert is chocolate cake. I want you to say chocolate cake. That's what less means.
Mhm.
Now, short means I don't care how long your answer is, but I want it in increments of 1 to 3 words, no more, or so. 1 to 5, 1 to 6 on occasion, but mainly you're shooting for 1 to 3 words or so. That's the goal.
Okay.
And link means no hesitations at all between words and syllables.
Mhm.
Linking prevents stuttering. You cannot stutter if you link, period. You must hesitate. Think a word, fear it, and force it. You can do it like that, but you got to do all four things. If you don't do any one of those things, you will never stutter. You will never, never, never stutter. It's within your control. But
Mhm.
don't say the methods don't work. They do work, but you've got to use them. That's like saying, well, I've got a fishing pole, but I'm not using it, but I'm not catching any fish. Well, of course you're not. You're not using the fishing pole or the bait. You got to use these things. They don't do any good if you don't use them.
Mhm.
It's like tools that are in a chest. You're trying to build a house and you have all the tools in a chest. How are you going to build a house? And stop is probably the most important one because when you stop, all pressure goes off you. All pressure goes off the listener. You're restored to peace.
Mhm.
You have stops constantly throughout your conversation. Lots of breaks. You're breaking the pressure. Snap. You're blocking the pressure. You're filling your mind with solutions. You're shutting out the problem by
Mhm.
thinking solutions. But only you can do it. I can't do it for you.
Mhm.
There's no coach can do it for you. Leah can't do it. Javier can't do it. Nobody can do it for you. You got to do it yourself. That's the deal. So, back to asking you questions.
Mhm.
Answer less with don't say what isn't necessary. Say what's necessary. What's your name? Where do you live? How tall are you? What do you eat for breakfast? Whatever the question is, answer it. But don't say anything you don't need to say.
Mhm.
Secondly, keep it short. I'm going to say under pressure 1 to 3 words or so. Hold on just a second. I'm in the middle of a call. You didn't come, did you? You didn't come, did you? Okay, good. Don't come. I've got calls for 2 hours. You can come. You can come. I can tell you when to come. Don't come when I'm in a call because I need to see you. I need to pay you. So you can come after 3 o'clock. Okay. Sorry about that.
It's
Um,
okay. No problem.
so okay. So If you don't practice these things and use them when you don't need them, guess what? You won't be able to use them when you need them. No. They'll be gone, and you'll be saying, they don't work. But they do work. But you must practice them. Your tennis serve won't work if you don't practice it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no magic here. This isn't rocket science. You are plenty smart enough and then some to do this.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to stay at it. You've got to be persistent. Yes, you do.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to ask you questions. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, where were you born?
China.
When did you leave China? At what age?
At age 22. Oh no, it's I should simply say 22.
That's right. Um, do you feel comfortable? Any question I ask that you think is too personal, you don't wish to answer, please don't answer it. I don't always know what
Mm-hmm.
answer might not be comfortable for you. When you left China, did your family, did all of them go with you, or did some or all of them stay behind?
No, I came alone.
Okay. What motivated, what, again, don't answer if it's not comfortable. What motivated you to leave?
To look for better education opportunity.
Okay. And it seems to me you are very brave. You're a very brave person to do that, to leave on your own at that age. If I had a hat on, I would take it off and do
Well, thank
this
you.
and doff my cap and say, "Well done." Um, do you communicate often with your family in China?
Yes, very frequently through video chat.
Okay, good. And have any of them come to visit you?
Yes,
Okay,
uh, some of them.
okay. And how many people are in your family? Parents, you have brothers and sisters, what?
Yeah, parents, one brother,
Okay,
and yeah,
all right. Um, when you made your phone call the other day that was so upsetting to you, it was to a stranger. What was the subject in general of that conversation?
I want to ask her the condition of experiment.
Okay, fine. So far, you're doing very well. You're not, you are saying less. You're not saying what's not necessary. And you're also keeping your answers short. We're shooting for how many words are we trying to say in increments of what? How many words?
1, 2, 3.
Or so.
Also,
Or
yeah.
so. It may be 4 or 5. I don't want to put handcuffs on you that'll break your wrists. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's flexibility here. There's room for you to be a human being. I'm not asking you to do anything that everybody else can't do. Okay. Um, when you're answering my questions now, which of these words is your primary focus?
Less.
Okay. And it's working. You say, yeah, but I can talk easier with you because I'm not nervous with you because you're a nice guy or whatever. I understand that. I want you to focus. You must master every one of these elements. It's not enough to master less. You got to master short, you got to master link, and above all, you got to master link. If you break a link, you're going down, you're going off the cliff into free fall. Oh, I can't talk. It didn't work. If you don't link, it won't work. Now, and stopping gives you the constant breaks. And consciously changing the length of your stop, varying,
Mm-hmm.
VARYING, changing up
Mm-hmm.
the length of the stop will make it easier for you to remember to stop, and you'll get more benefit
Mm-hmm.
from longer stops.
Yeah.
And your speech, it'll calm you down. Your mouth is shut. There's no reason to be in panic. Look, all you're doing here is saying a few words at a time. I'm not asking you to, make 1,000 word talk to some stranger on the phone. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
asking you to do that. I'm asking you to say 1 to 3 words or so
Mm-hmm.
and link them and then stop. That's all I'm asking you to do. You can do that. You say, well, yeah, but what if I have to say Sherry and I can't say Sherry? What'll I do then? Well, you use
Oh, I can
crutches
say,
one. Go ahead. Sorry.
oh, I can say SHERRY.
Yeah, that's one way. They sure can. Exactly, and that's perfect. Or you can go share. Sherry, say that.
Sherry.
No, I did share. Sherry.
Sherry.
I went share.
Share.
Sherry. In other words, I had a break. I created a break. In this case, I'm coming off linking and I'm saying part of the word, or I'm saying the word. If I can't say Lee, if I go in another voice range, Lee, or whisper, Lee, I can. It breaks the freeze. It breaks the hold. It breaks the block. Lee, 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 Lee. Say that.
Lee, Lee.
And as long as I hum, I go
Mm-hmm.
Lee, Lee. I hum the first part into the Lee, Lee, and now I go share, Sherry,
Sherry.
Bob, Bob. Sorry, Rob, Robert,
Robert.
Will, William.
William.
By biology,
Biology.
molecular,
Molecular.
cell.
Cell.
You see how easy that is? Believe
Yeah.
me, this will work because when the way the stutter guy works, he always is focused on one word, one syllable, one letter. And the minute, and there's one other thing he's focused on. You talking in your regular voice register. The reason enthusiasm works so well is because you're constantly going in and out of your voice register.
Mm-hmm.
And you're having to make your thoughts focus on doing it. You're doing it for the purpose of being showing enthusiasm. But
Mm-hmm.
if your purpose were simply to modulate your voice up and down and move around, it would have the same effect if you
Mm-hmm.
were just focused on changing your voice register. Now, so that's why when you can't say Sherry or Lee or biology or whatever it is, if you say that word or the first syllable of that word, by
Mm-hmm.
biology,
Mm-hmm.
or the word Lee or Sherry, you break the block every time because you come out of your voice register. That breaks the block. He's not out of your voice register. Now, it's true. If you
Mhm.
come out of your voice register and stay there indefinitely, he will get there.
Mhm.
But when you come out one word or one syllable or a sentence or a phrase at a time, he can't get there. He won't.
Mhm.
The point is, stuttering is a habit. It has no brains. You've got brains,
Mhm.
and you can maneuver around it. Period. You're much smarter. The habit can't compete with you at all.
Mhm.
It has strict rules it stays within. When you work around the rules, it's left holding the bag. It gets nothing. You can leave it holding the bag. All right, so linking linking means thinking of all words and syllables as one word and one syllable.
Mhm.
How are you becomes how are you? Say that.
How are you?
Where are you going?
Where are you going?
What time is it?
What time is it?
What time is it?
What time is it?
Yeah. I want that hum through the words. Molecular biology.
Molecular biology.
Molecular and cell biology.
Molecular and cell biology.
When you hum through those words and force them to link together, Sherry, you not only won't stutter, you can't. You
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
do it.
Mhm.
Linking is magic, and humming through a link will make it easier. But you got to practice each one of these elements separately in conversations when you don't need them.
Mhm.
And then the minute you feel you have the slightest pressure, this is we call your panic speech plan or your emergency speech plan, whatever you want to call it. And you gotta know it like the back of your hand, like the biology you had to learn to get your Ph.D. You had to know all these formulas and all this data. You had to learn tons and tons and tons of data. I know because one of my granddaughters went through medical school and
Wow.
she had to learn a lot of that stuff. And she was great in chemistry and that sort of stuff. She was really good at it. And she's now a doctor. She just graduated from Georgetown Medical School. So
Wow. Excellent.
yeah, she's a good student. Um, but you are too, obviously. But you got to use it here. You got to use your student abilities here.
Mhm.
You've got to master. You've got to practice these elements until each one is comfortable and natural. Because you got to do all four of them at once. Your mind is going to be busy. It's not going to have any time to think about stuttering.
Yeah.
It's going to be too busy. And I promise you this, you say less, you keep it short, you link your words and hum through them and use your stops, you're finished with bad incidents. You're finished.
Mhm.
Now, how fast can you learn this? I don't know. That's up to you. But it's kind of like all the things you've ever learned in your life and
Mhm.
are still learning, I'm sure. This is just one more thing to learn. And it's a lot easier than most of the learning you've had to do. You're just changing a bad habit. That's all you're doing. You're blocking a bad habit.
Mhm.
When you don't think anything, the habit is there. It takes over. You can't allow it to happen.
Mhm.
And this will prevent it. There are other methods. This is a good one.
Okay.
Is there anything else you'd like to work on today, ask me, or do?
Yeah. So I do have a question. So now talking to my coworkers, I'm a lot better. So I have very few incidents. So my
And we're
question,
going to have none very soon. None.
is, in some day, it's easier for me. I can say a lot more, but in some day I couldn't. So I tried the less, link, and stop.
Whenever you
So
have a problem, you go
yeah,
into your pressure speech plan.
yeah,
From
yeah,
now on, you
yeah,
listen, 50% of your speech from now on for a while may be this. I
less.
don't know.
Okay.
Maybe 75. But I'll tell you what will happen. When you know this system,
Mhm.
the fear level is going to start going down like a rock. You'll still have it because you'll be thinking about, oh, I've stuttered so many times and blah blah blah, and you got to contradict that stuff. But the fact of the matter is, every time you're in one of the bad situations, you do this, and guess what? You don't have a bad incident.
Mhm.
You may talk in short increments
Mhm.
and use lots of stops
Mhm.
and be thinking
Mhm.
about linking while you're talking
Mhm.
and speaking less. The net effect of all of this is you didn't have a problem. So what happens next time? It's easier.
Mhm.
And the time after that, it's easier than the last time.
Mhm.
Now you can say, well, sometimes I have a tougher, more pressure in some situations. Okay, that's fine. We'll take them one by one. Some days I'm tired. I'm sorry, that's not an excuse.
Mhm.
Some days I don't feel up to it. Well, that's not an excuse. I'm
Mhm.
sorry, Sherry. We can't give you time off. We can't accept that kind of thinking. We've got to stay on this beast until the beast is dead. Ah, we lost our connection.
Um.
There we
Oh.
are.
Uh,
We need to stay on it till this
we-
beast is dead.
yeah.
And you can do it, but
Mm.
you are not a helpless soul matched up against an opponent you can't whip. That's not true.
Mhm.
You can beat this beast, and the more pressure, the more you in, don't accept stuff from yourself that's less
Mhm.
than I'm not going to have a bad incident. Perfect speech? No, you're not going to have it. You never will. So what? And,
Oh,
and
it's
you're going to make some
okay.
mistakes. Forget them.
Yeah, it's okay for me as long as I can say stuff in life and be functional, it should be okay.
Of
I'm not
course.
looking for perfect speech.
Look, perfection, that's never our goal. Our goal is to be the best we can be. I want to be the best I can be.
Mhm.
I can be better than you at some things, and you can be better at me in other things. That's fine. I want to be the best I can be, and I want you to be the best you can be. That's all I'm asking. And if you do that, you're not going to have a speech disability, period.
Mhm.
You're going to learn to love to speak everywhere
Mhm.
eventually without pressure,
Mhm.
without needing to think about it. All this stuff goes, you don't, do I need this? I don't need this.
Mhm.
I don't need any of these methods
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
for
Yeah.
many decades.
Mhm.
You won't either. Hopefully, you can help some other people like I'm helping you.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully, when you discover the oil well in your backyard or you
Mm.
inherit a gold mine, you'll make WSSA your favorite charity because it needs money to stay alive. I'm trying to keep it alive, and it's not easy to do. And
Yeah.
I won't always be here.
Mhm.
And I'm hoping that you and a lot of people like you will send $100 or 1,000 or whatever you can, whenever you can, to help
Mhm.
keep it alive. Not only that, but coach somebody once in a while.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Help
Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah. In some day, I would love to do that.
And you
Uh.
can, you can. And we need more girls because only 20% of stutterers are girls.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
the guys, um, I don't know how to put it. Um, most of them, maybe they're not as charitable by nature as girls. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
not.
Mm-hmm.
We have more girl coaches percentage wise
Yeah.
than we do girl students.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's true. True.
So we
Mm-hmm.
need them. But look, life is not just about you, and life is not about just about me. My
Yeah.
life is about what I can do to help other people, and so is yours.
Yeah. Oh
Why
yeah.
that is? Because I feel better when I help you, and you'll feel better when you help somebody else. That's the way it is.
Uh-huh. Oh
So
yeah. I
never
totally.
forget WSSA. You're going to beat this. You're going to
Mm-hmm.
go on and live a life without stuttering. Don't forget this organization because we put it together to help other people. There's 70 million people out there hanging by their fingernails.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
And there's no reason for it. No reason. But
Mm-hmm.
the job at the moment is you. And it's not having these bad incidents. We
Mm-hmm.
must stop them. We
Yeah.
must stop them. I'm not asking for miracles, and we'll take whatever progress we can get. But
Mm-hmm.
there is no limit on how fast you can do this.
Mm-hmm.
Some people do it in incredible speed. And, stopping the bad incidents is one thing. Stopping the fear with some, takes longer, even though it's an easier battle. It
Mm-hmm.
takes it takes longer. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
master every one of these elements. Practice each element individually.
Mm-hmm.
Conversation. Say, in this conversation, I'm going to talk less. In the
Mm-hmm.
next conversation, I'm going to be short.
Mm-hmm.
In the next conversation, I'm going to work on linking and
Mm-hmm.
then stopping. And then I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to work on less and short together.
Mm-hmm.
And then short and link together.
Mm-hmm.
And then link and stop. And then
Mm-hmm.
less short and link. And then short, link, and stop, and so forth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at it just like you studying for one of your Ph.D. exams.
Mm-hmm.
Same deal. Blow it out. Burn it
Okay.
out.
Okay.
Beat it. I'm telling you now, if you do these things, your days of bad incidents will end abruptly. And when you realize that you're in control and that you can control the speed of your car, your speech car, and you're not going to drive into a tree or off the road anymore, you're going to be able to relax. And
Oh yeah.
and as you relax, the day will come when you don't need them.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That will be a very good feeling if I
Yeah.
learn how to control my speech.
Yes.
That would be a wonderful feeling.
You've tasted the sweetness of fluency when you were being enthusiastic, and
Yeah.
really all you were thinking is one word,
Mhm.
enthusiasm, and it
Yeah.
was taking you over. That
Mhm.
would work when you were on the phone calling in that conversation. It would have worked then if you could have done it. If you could
Yeah.
have committed to
You're
it, it
right.
would have worked.
You're right.
But
You're right. At the
if
time, I
this
was
will work
so
easier than
yeah.
just relying on enthusiasm.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. So, uh, is it okay for me to spend 2 minutes to practice using the speech plan to talk about what I needed to talk about yesterday on the phone?
I don't understand your question.
So I I'm trying to say what I needed to say yesterday on the phone using those plans.
Well, we can't practice now because I got another call in one
Okay,
minute.
okay, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I got to go.
Okay.
So you got your assignment. So
Hmm.
go for it. And I see you in 2 weeks. Is that our schedule?
I think it will be next Wednesday.
Okay.
I think it will be on February 22nd.
Okay. Send me an email the day before just to make sure.
Okay.
Bye. Do your
Okay,
work now. Do your work.
good day. Yeah.
Okay, honey.
Have a good day.
You too,
Enjoy.
dear. You too.